Hey, this is Mr. Molo. Just going to make a quick video to kind of explain some of this stuff. It looks like you haven't passed on a couple tries, so I'm going to talk about some of these questions. So this first one is talking about functions. So you got this one right. So a function is something when the x doesn't repeat. So if you look at here, this is the x line. It's always on the left. And you're right, it is HAL that's going to be the function, because 15, 14, 12, or 16, 12, 13, none of those are the same number. If you look at Zelda, 12 and 12, same number, not a function. If you look at Maya, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, a bunch of repeating numbers, not a function. Jason, 12 and 12 again, so not a function. So when we see a table like that, if it's repeating numbers, it is not a function. So HAL is a function because none of those numbers repeat. Okay, here, kind of the same thing. If we put this into a graphing calculator, we'll see that it is a relation and it is a function. It'll end up having like a U-shaped thing, and we'll kind of talk about that more on this next couple ones that are graphing. Okay, so here, which statement is the correct interpretation of a vertical line test? So let me find one that you actually graphed on. Here we go. So a vertical line test is when you take a vertical line, so a line going up and down, and if it only touches that vertical line one time, then it's a function. This one's like the ultimate not a function because it touches the x point so many times. Like here x is -3, here x is -3, here x is -3. So many points that x is -3. Okay, the second one, x is only one number each time. Like here it's -1, here it's 0, here it's +1, here it's 2, here it's 3. Like they never repeat. If I look here, it looks like they're repeating over and over again. Like there's a -2, there's a -2. There's a -1, there's a -1. There's a 0, there's a 0. They're repeating so often, it's not a function. Same thing here. Here's a -2, here's a -2. Here's a +2, here's a +2. So when those numbers repeat, then it's not going to be a function. So if we go back and look at this one, so it's a vertical line if they intersect only at one point. Okay, so you're looking for the only one point thing. Okay, same thing here. This is not a function because it repeats. You have a -3 right here and a -3 right here. So imagine like taking your pencil across this graph. It touches two dots on this graph more than one time, so it's not going to be a function. Okay, same thing here. So we're looking at which one describes a function. And we're talking about the appraised value. None of those are the same, so it's a function. And the property tax, none of those are the same. Bedrooms, repeats, not a function. Acres of land, repeats, not a function. Sale price, repeats, 275,000, not a function. There's no repeating in this column, and there's no repeating in the property tax column. So you're looking for things that don't repeat. Here, if we graph this, again, you're probably going to need a graphing calculator, but it looks just like that V shape. So you're going to have to plug that into a graphing calculator. It looks like that, and that's going to end up not repeating any x's. Here it's asking which one would you have to remove to make them not repeating. And the answer is right here, this -2, 1. We don't have any other 4s on this graph, but we do have two -2s here. So one of those needs to get removed in order for it to be a function. We don't have any more 0s on this graph. We don't have any more 1s. We don't have any more 2s. So that one would need to get removed. Okay, how do we know? And pretty much the whole thing I've been saying this whole video. How do we know if it's a function? If none of the input values, aka your x's, are repeating, then it is a function. Hope that helps.